Chat, just a few seconds longer. I'm so sorry. I just have to manage the space on my desk real quick. It's one of those things I'm not very good at. So please give me a moment. Okay, my desk is organized. Oh my god, where's my music? Where's my music? And come on. Hello. I need to join the VC. Fuck. That is my feral screech for today.
Yeah?
Yeah. Apparently me and Strawberry Witch are going live at the same time. Someone just shared to me this live notifications of both of us. Like behind you there's COVID. That's not a girl! This is a man! But it's okay if you guys don't wanna... I won't flap my wings into your face constantly. Fast right FK.
I mean, I could do the thing Luca likes to do in your chat. Fuck.
Oh yeah, you're edging how far you can go. Maybe more this way. You're hiding behind my chat. Why do all of my collab partners just have a tendency to hide behind my chat? No, a bit more this way. Come on.
Because you take up most of the screen.
Fuck you. Literally, that's for Hades to do. Yeah, you done with me yet?
I thought I was promised Hades for this chapter.
I have a rock hard singular fucking fry in my mouth. Because these are all teeth-breaking fries, and I don't know if I can eat them. The appy sauce is not moisturizing them. Seriously, my teeth hurt. And take some sips. I'm fine. I'm normal, I'm fine. This is the first time actually chat's gonna see a proper fucking friend switch likely then again. In a while. During stream. Because usually chat doesn't get to see that. Usually chat doesn't get to really see a lot of shit when it comes to that.
Well, for us, they just see it in chat happen.
Yeah, for you guys to see it happen in chat, but they don't actually really see the thing changing, even though Hades set it up to be all cool, where it's like, one button, look at us rapid. No. It's just a button. I wish it controlled shit, that'd be so much easier, because then Hades and Co could just press the button and it'd be like, I'm here.
I mean,
smoking smokers. Oh.
He is a gatekeeper, so...
Yeah. I'm choking on fry.
Don't choke.
I can feel the ever so slight traces of rock hard fry stuck in my throat. The bird did not ask for this.
It's also interesting that for those that were in stream earlier, how different the facial expressions are between me and Luca.
Not just that, you have different tracking right now. Thank you for the hydrate.
That's... details.
We don't have the extra LED because I fucking stole that back. Also, I've once again decided that I want to move the alerts, so they're instead now going to be, yeah, I think that's a nice position, roughly. That sits over both of our faces equally. And now both of us are getting our faces covered when someone hits the alerts. You guys want to test it? No. I'm wreaking a bit more chaos before you get your hobby, okay? This is might. Well, crab. Oh no, it's one of my static crabs. Thank you for the headbuds, yay! I'm so happy this don't work. Yeah, no, seriously, there's like 5 different things that I did that could have broken him. Thank you for stretch. They really wanted to see the new alerts location, huh?
I mean, I was about to press one as well.
Yeah. Ooh, no,
hey,
it can be everywhere, chat. They can be on you, they can be on you, they can be everywhere. Oh god, fucking damn it. Good thing that we're getting that out of the way right now. I should have disabled that. There's a bunch that I should have disabled for today. I'm glad those are getting done immediately, but I have to disable sea shanty because we are not doing any singing today. If you want to do your most... Oh god damn it. I have to turn that off and I have to turn that one off for today actually for once. But just to give me wings, they can only give me wings with the usual stuff. Okay, so that's a singular Wheel of Doom. And a Wordle. Issue here is that... Thank you for the 1 bit and letting me repeatedly smack Zeus in the face. I guess. Yeah. I guess that's what is happening here. Okay, hold on. I'm getting the word already, and then I'll get the wheel. Zeus, you can look at me all you want like that, but I wrote your source. I can traumatize you more. I'm the author! I'll probably cry because I feel guilty, but...
That's your punishment.
You know. Anyways, to this one, and then... It should show Wordle. Yes, it does show Wordle. Oh god, why is everything breaking like this? Hold on, what is open that it's... Okay, that one's the issue.
Okay, hello reactive.
Yeah, the reactive is still there, I forgot to disable that. I can't find it, oh, there it is. Okay, you, me. We move to this corner. Okay, I guess you're just no-clipping. How long do these fucking head pads stay on, man? Hold on. I can't believe I just nearly showed, like, the face tracking stuff. Hold on. Went did the complete wrong thing to get the color picker. Let's go. I'm gonna put more over here, because otherwise I cut myself off with too much. What blam? Your tail is covering, like, half of it. We're moving back to the other corner today. We're moving back to here for today. Yeah. Anyways.
Why do you think I am on that corner of the screen with our own streams?
Fair. Did you see what I just did? Can't stay because of work, but popping might say, hi, thank you, Milo. I already got a Wordle redeem, so we've got to do that first. And as per usual, we got to start out with death. Only an E. Slope. Oh no. That's a bell.
Hi, Milo.
Oh, it's my Milo though. We know there's an S and there's an E at the end. That's already something. I clicked away my Twitch chat. Hold up, there we go.
Smooth.
Yeah, no, for real. You'd be surprised how smooth-brained I am as a fucking bird!
Yeah, I know who can fix that.
A chiropractor?!
You're my cutout.
Yeah.
All I could hear was kite.
No worries. Okay, so we know there's a G, and there's an E at the end, and there's an S in there somewhere. So of course I'm gonna say goose.
End, so. Okay, Poseidon.
It's not goose. Wait.
Don't look at me.
I really am not thinking here right now. Wait, guys, of course, I was thinking of like, this is my issue with Wordle. I think of how I pronounce things, and then I'm like, wait, no, but that's not a word if I pronounce it like that. And that's where I fuck up. And that is where I fuck up. Okay, now I gotta really quickly disable this one. Wait, where the hell? There's a source for wheel. So now we grab the wheel. Fox, you get a singular wheel. Because you only did that. Please no more redeeming cheer today. There's the wheel. Tell me to spin. I'm waiting for you to tell me to spin it, as per usual. I'm waiting for Fox to give me the input to spin the wheel, and it's just not there. I'll take that as a spin. After this, you're going back to rest mode, okay? It's so close to what you wanted. I hope you're happy. Wait, hold on. Didn't Fox actually say that Throne wouldn't accept their PayPal?
Yeah. Throne accepts none of their payment methods.
Oh. I should probably remove that one then, because oh no. Didn't meant to respin it, I meant to try and remove it, but I hit wrong. First. There's no, come on. I was trying to remove Tron Chaos because they can't do that one, and I feel really bad.
I think getting the subs as a substitute is fair.
Yeah, subs as a substitute. Subs as substitute. I love that more than I should. But yes, Fox, you get subs as substitute. Subs as substitute.
If Fox really wants to try Throne Chaos, they can, if it's still not possible.
You basically get to choose which of the two you want.
Oh, nice. I'll let Luca know.
Okay. I have it up on the screen right now. For chat to know, the way we're going to be doing this is I'm going to turn off the music here in a sec when we actually start. We're going to do this page by page, meaning that I do the first page, the second page goes to Zeus, and vice like back and forth. If a paragraph starts on one page and extends onto the next, if there's 2 more lines in said paragraph, then the person who started that on the earlier page has to read it. If there is more, then it's for the next person. I am not going to be really reacting to chat at all. What will happen is, when it's not my turn, I will respond to chat by using my own chat to send messages. I was not kidding when I called this a bedtime story, because so many of my chats have fallen asleep to this when we've done the past 4 chapters. With that out of the way, I'll get you your hobbuns, and let's get right into it. Zeus, do you want to take it from the top by starting out this time, because it is your chapter?
Alright.
Let me turn off my music and let me mute my mic. Go ahead.
Jars of protein shakes surrounded me as I once again woke up. I am gonna need to zoom in more. Jesus. Okay. Google Docs went white for a sec. Sorry, guys.
It's okay, we can have this go. You can retake if you want.
Thanks. Jars of protein shakes surrounded me as I once again woke up. It had been a few days since Chris's birthday now. And strangely enough, this feels wrong.
You can say it, it's okay. You've got the pass. It's okay.
And strangely enough, Sam hadn't been there. He had been missing for an awfully long time, actually, now that I thought about it. Not that I spent much time thinking about it, as I prepared another shake to get started for the day. It was a bit overkill, maybe, but it seemed like even if I forgot to drink one, my body would perform in perfect condition. Anyways. Either way, it was still a part of my routine, and the routine wasn't something that was meant to be broken. Rules definitely were, though. So I once again made my way over to the gym, wearing whichever combo of sweatpants and tank top were closest to me. Morning, Zeke. Please don't tell me you're going to try forcing a rugby ball through a basketball hoop today. Chris was always the first to greet me, as he'd usually spend time here as well. He would also constantly mope about the lack of a pool. I fully ignored his plea to not retry what I'd been trying all week, and grabbed the rugby ball, making sure to maintain eye contact with him for as long as possible as I tossed it at the hoop. I missed it completely. The ball bouncing off of the wall invited an awkward silence, before both Chris and I broke it with laughter. It didn't matter to me that it had gone into the hoop or not. I just wanted to have some fun. Besides that, I wanted to show that I was still determined to make it happen. I'd been training a lot physically since the test of loyalty ended. And honestly, I'd gotten quite bored with just regular sports, as the only one who would play with me was Chris. So I opted to make challenges for myself. The first one had been blocking a soccer ball with a hockey stick, which had actually been a metal pipe I found. That one was rather easy, although it did let me a couple bruises. By the way, Zeke, it's unlike you to sleep in this much. You missed something pretty big as well. When I turned to Chris as he spoke, I nearly missed grabbing the ball, which had rolled a fair bit away now. Oh? I perked up, playing with the rugby ball in my hands. I saw the light turn on in Sam's room, and I saw his Dr. Morris walk out. I dropped the ball again. We hadn't really seen any activity in or around Sam's room for at least a week or two, perhaps longer. Seeing a light turn on and seeing one of his two doctors was kind of huge.
I was almost about to go straight over to his door to see if I could drag him out of his room, when Chris placed a hand on my shoulder to stop me. Just one look at his eyes was enough to understand he wanted me to wait. After giving it a solid minute-long thoughts, I realized why. Or at least, I got close to realizing why. If he hadn't even shown up to Chris's birthday, he probably wasn't feeling well. My brain started thinking of why, which was difficult because this place was perfect for me. For remembering that he had 2 dogs at home. Maybe he missed those. Regardless of why, going over to his room wasn't a good idea. So I instead picked the ball back up and kept attempting to toss it into the basketball hoop in the perfect angle in order to get it through. It kept bouncing off of the wall, the hoop itself, and occasionally the ceiling. The latter was particularly impressive as the ceiling had been quite tall. It fell down from the ceiling in a surprisingly straight line, before bouncing and eventually rolling off. Chris had been fetching the ball whenever it got too close to whatever he was doing, which alternated between gymnastics exercises he swore were useful for swimming, to messing with the equipment closest to him. Personally, swimming wasn't something I felt strongly for, but I could notice how it was slowly getting to Chris more and more. So, to distract him, I passed the ball over to him, a regular basketball this time. How about you try to get some shots? You haven't played with me forever, I teased him, which clearly worked as he got up with a sigh, before tossing it perfectly in the goal, something neither of us anticipated. His face shifted from surprise to confident in a heartbeat, as if to proclaim that the shot was calculated and intentional. Before he could act all cocky, though, I ran after the ball, which spurred him to run after it as well. Realizing I wouldn't go easy on him after that little display, the next few rounds we both kept shooting at the same hoop, with no turns being in effect, just us scurrying after the ball as it either went through the hoop or bounced off of it. Seeing Chris's smile made me realize that, as of late, he really hadn't had any fun doing most of the things he did to keep himself busy. Then I realized that I had been much the same. It felt fun what we were doing, but also meaningless. It stripped a core joy away from it. Yeah, I know, I'm having issues. We spent pretty much an entire day attempting to snatch the ball from each other's arms. Something we'd been quite good at, but in the end, it wasn't all that close. Of the total of 67 shots taken, and 31 shots going through the hoop, 20 balls had come from me. Chris had definitely improved, even if he wasn't sure about it. When I had first met the guy, he barely even managed to throw the ball, much less score. Now he was keeping up with me quite well, which was no small feat.
Basketball has been the first sport I played, before moving on to being part of the track team, which then later changed to volleyball, before I finally landed in a sport I felt at home with. I couldn't even remember the name of our school, but I remember the way it felt when I held a hockey stick in my hands for the first time. The sports I'd done before never relied on much of another element such as a stick, and it at first seemed far too simple and tame. A bunch of sticks and a disc sliding across the floor. I really hadn't seen the appeal in it. It wasn't until after actually playing it with the school stream at tryouts that I started feeling at home. I'd always seen it as a very preppy sport, something smart rich kids would play if they had far too much free time to work with. But at our school, it was more than that. The actual team didn't dance around chasing the puck. They were focused and often would show a lot of control over the stick that was used. Something that I hadn't considered in the slightest is that for them, it was just an extension of their arm. Those days of playing with them were gone now, though, and so was playing in general. There weren't any sticks here, which irritated me at first. But there were enough other sports I could work with that did have their equipment here. In that sense, though, I guess Chris wasn't the only fish out of the water. Though I managed to distract myself a lot more than he did. Not that I could blame him. From what he told us, all he had ever really done was swim. There wasn't too much else that could distract him. After making a few more missed throws at the hoop, we both finally called it quits. And whilst I had intended to return to my room, Chris dragged me along to the cafeteria. He reminded me that even if we didn't feel hunger anymore, we would still need extra food if we were going to play against each other like this. He was insinuating that playing together more often like this really wasn't that bad of an idea, and I was more than happy to take his open invitation. What I wasn't happy with, however, was the monstrosity he made on his plate. I couldn't even tell the individual foods apart, except for a bowl of strawberries sitting neatly and untouched beside the plate. Relief was about to wash over me, seeing normal food, but to my horror, he started dipping the strawberries in different sauces, seemingly taking notes as to which combinations tasted the best to him. How he could stomach these creations was still a mystery, one I didn't feel like unraveling.
My own plate was filled with basic essentials, as I still kept following the same diet I had when I first started playing basketball. Chicken, rice, and some vegetables. It wasn't a lot, but it would do more than just suffice for me. This was my first plate anyways. The second one would include some potatoes and beef. It worked to keep me from being hungry, and it helped me stay upright, so I never bothered to alter it. After we had both eaten, we went our separate ways to rest up in our rooms, making sure to agree on a sport to train the next day. Not that much discussion happened about it. Chris wanted to have a basketball rematch, and I was happy to oblige. Having played against him today had been a blast for me, so I looked forward to how he'd do tomorrow. I was secretly hoping he'd close the gap in our scores this time, or perhaps even beat me. Though when I laid down that evening, I remembered that whilst we were having fun, Sam was probably missing his parents, his dogs, and maybe half of his wardrobe. Even though it was too soon, most likely, I couldn't really rematch Chris tomorrow with a clear conscience if I wouldn't at least try talking to Sam. I'd probably be filled with worry and guilt, with thoughts of my friends and of the team I used to play with in my mind. I fell asleep. The next morning I made sure to wake up a bit earlier. I knew everyone's schedules by now, so I knew exactly when I could slip in between all of them to check on Sam without anyone noticing. Nearly forgetting the sacred protein shake I had prepped just moments prior, I slipped out of my room door, trying to make sure I didn't shut it too loudly. I was in the middle of my little row of rooms, and both Rose and Daniel were sure to be asleep still. No way I risked them waking those two up. Not just because they needed a rest, but also because they were terrifying if you accidentally woke them up. My steps luckily weren't all that loud as I walked over to the gym's floorboards, which was in between our rooms. It was honestly interesting how the gym was framed as an inner court that separated our rooms. It was in the middle of my row, which was shared with Rose and Daniel, and Sam's, who shared his row with Yemel and Chris, who were his neighbors. He was lucky that his room was close to the cafeteria side, though, making it easy for him to sneak on out without waking anyone. What I forgot every single morning was putting on my slippers, which I always noticed when I started sliding across the floor. Right now, I didn't care about how I probably looked like Bambi on ice, and just carefully made my way over to Sam's door. I nearly crashed as the floor changed from slightly slippery gym floors to the normal stone one, only barely avoiding kissing the wall. It wouldn't have been the first time that I get too personal with the wall because of this, and the doors also hadn't been safe. Awkwardly fixing my posture, I got ready to knock on his door.
The longer it took for the door to open, the more worried I grew, until a very grumpy Sam opened up. His room was fully dark behind him, and he had been blocking all view anyways with his body. He looked either defeated or exhausted, or maybe both. Not just that, he also appeared to be shaking a bit, as if it was difficult to keep himself standing up. "Hey Sam," I started, only to get interrupted. "Hades," he snapped back, which was something I hadn't expected. The shock was probably visible on my face as I saw him take a breath. As I saw him take a deep breath. "Hey, there's no doctors around, you don't have to." "I know." He once again cut me off. He seemed set on using that weird code name that had been assigned to him. Usually he wasn't so feisty about it, as he hated it as well. But now it seemed like he preferred it over his actual name. He seemed so set on it even, that I didn't even muster the thought to argue further. Well, I paused for a moment, struggling to get myself to remember what I wanted to say. Hades, everyone was wondering if you were doing okay. I wanted to know as well, because, well, haven't seen you in a while now. You even missed Chris's birthday party. When I mentioned Chris's birthday, I saw his eyes change, and I could tell he tried to hide his surprise. But he did a piss poor job at it. I just felt weirdly sick. Guess despite the lack of hunger and everything, we can still get sick. So don't be like me and miss your sleep hours. He practically threw the words at my face. Something he was prone to do when he was hiding something and didn't want to explain the actual reason as to why he was absent, be it physically or mentally. He followed up on his remark about sleeping, and as he did, he came across as feisty but wholly insincere. Especially to come check up on me. Sacrificing your sleep for me isn't worth it. I was about to protest when I noticed Sam, or, well, Hades, starting to wobble as he gripped the door harder. He tried to hide it, but he did a terrible job. And he certainly didn't cause me any less worry. When I tried to reach to him to offer support, he jolted backwards, and I could only really watch as he nearly lost his balance, then tried to recompose himself.
That's all, then please, just go back to bed, alright? You'll see me pop up when I'm feeling better. The smile he formed on his face, meant to comfort me, didn't work, as I could tell he was resorting to his form of pleading. The door got closed before I could respond in any way, and he had definitely failed to make me worry less. If anything, you should know by now how much I hated it when he isolated himself like this. But I knew I couldn't do anything about it, so I accepted my loss and went back to my room. When I got back, half of my protein shake was still waiting for me, so I chugged it down before just starting some push-ups. The talk with Hades had left me restless, so I just wanted to exercise the stress out. It was far too early to start messing around in the gym too, as I probably waked some of the others up. After a few push-ups, I switched over to sit-ups, and I kept switching between the two of them until I finally heard a knock on my door. It was Chris. He had waited for me whilst I hadn't been keeping track of time, and he thought he could finally catch me oversleeping. He realized that, to his dismay, he had failed at that yet again as he noticed the state of my protein shake station. He knew by now what it looked like after being used in the morning. So, rematch time? He just said, leaning into my doorframe, holding himself in place by grabbing onto both sides of it. In response, I just snatched the basketball from beside him as he was about to shoot it at the hoop, and as I was about to shoot it at the hoop, he snatched it out of my hands, reminding me about the fact that with today's walkways beside it, the ceilings were too low to make that shot, especially if I didn't want to get in trouble for breaking anything. I moped about him stopping me, but then snatched the ball back and ran onto the gym floor. I was smart enough this time to put on shoes beforehand, which helped me not slide all over the place. Oi! Last time I checked, that's not what dribbling looks like, Chris yelled with a clear, bright smile on his face as he ran after me. I didn't know you paid attention to my sports rambling, but good to know that you do, I said, ready up to shoot the ball at the hoop. More like I remember it because the teacher always chewed you out for it. He stuck out his tongue as I took the shot, and it bounced right off. I was about to say something when I saw Daniel's door open, and not that long after, Rose's. I immediately got ready to apologize for waking them, but instead I showed him share a glance.
$10, he doesn't hit the next shot either. Rose started, looking straight at the ball as it was still rolling away. Deal. Hey, Ezekiel, make sure you hit the next one! Daniel yelled in response, gesturing for me to pick up the ball as they both sat down on the side, keeping their gaze locked onto the ball as I grabbed it. held it, and shot it through the air. I watched both of them hold their breath as it looked like it was going to make it through the hoop, before hearing Rose celebrate as it bounced off the board again. Daniel quietly slid her a $10 bill, the Monopoly kind. We didn't need regular money in here, but Monopoly money sufficed for us. And besides that, betting was fun, and we needed something to bet with. He seemed pouty about having lost the bet, but was eager to bet on me hitting the next shot again, and as I shot this time, it was Rose's turn to quietly slide over the $10 bill. They kept going like this throughout the entire game. Both me and Chris were certain by the end of it that they'd just been going back and forth with the same 3 bills. One worth 5, one worth 10, and another worth 20. By the end of it, Daniel had won the most bets, and was proudly holding onto the $20 bill, whilst Rose held bills in her hands, looking like a pathetic wet cat. A pathetic wet
You're
cat.
lagging. You were lagging throughout that sentence.
Where does this sentence start? Hold on. There. By the end of it, Daniel had won the most bets, and was proudly holding onto the $20 bill, whilst Rose held the 5 and 10 bills in her hands, looking like a pathetic wet cat. This was the average outcome of any bets between the two of them, and we knew Rose wasn't actually all too upset. She would sometimes purposely start losing a bet, just so others could win a bit more if they were getting down in the dumps about losing, and she'd usually still earn more in the end. Hey, how about you two play now, and we start making bets? I remarked after picking up the basketball for the final time. I held it underneath my armpit, loosely. I hadn't expected either of them to take the offer. Neither of them were into sports that much. But I guess they were either bored or wanted to make it fair, because Daniel hit the ball out from underneath my arm and started to attempt dribbling, before just grabbing it and trying to shoot. It was Chris and I's turn to start betting. Neither of us usually bet using anything but the Monopoly money, but when it was just the two of us, our bets were made using food we'd get later in the day. This had been a practice since about a week after we first met, and the amount of times I lost a good chunk of chicken or beef to him is more often than I was willing to admit. Likewise, he often lost some of his priced jerky to me, which he then got back, in part as I couldn't bear his sad stare as I tried to eat it.
Today's bets put both of our meals on the line, but not in our usual way. We'd pass around a tennis ball between the two of us, and whoever had it at the end of their game got to decide the other's meal. For both of us, this was risky. Chris hated how bland my meals were, and I couldn't even imagine surviving one of his combinations. I won the first couple of bets, but then Chris got the hold onto it for longer and longer, and I was growing nervous. Chris continuously kept betting on Rose and my winner on Daniel. Not because of favoritism, but because picking one consistent person to bet on was easiest overall. To my relief, and Chris's despair, Daniel was the last one to score during their game, leaving me with the tennis ball, and Chris's meal plan by extension, in my hands. I guess you're eating healthy tonight. Hope you're ready. A smirk accompanied me as I tauntingly held the tennis ball in front of him. My plan wasn't to make it too bland. I wanted to annoy him, but not fully bully him. I'd give him sauce options so he'd have plenty to mix and combine with, but obviously I wasn't going to tell him. He'd figure it out during dinner, and by that point he'd probably have figured it out already. It seemed that both Rose and Daniel had caught what I said, because both of them walked over and chimed in with their own versions of "you're screwed," which Chris shrugged off. Hey, he didn't ban me from combining food. Whatever he gives me, I'm sure I can mix it into something edible. I wasn't going to give him sauce options anymore. He seemed confident enough in his skill, so I wanted to test that. If it really turned out badly, maybe I'd spare him with some ketchup, and let him figure it out from there. Good luck, I smiled at him, making sure he noticed I'd actually put some thought behind my plan. You're going to need all your food-related skills to save what I'm about to serve you. You're evil, he returned with a very obviously fake pout, before breaking out into laughter. We all joined in on it, before we noticed Jewel's door opening as well. Daniel rushed into his brother's arm for a proper tackle hug, and if you all had noticed it any later, he would be on the floor now. It was refreshing to see everyone together, but we were still missing Hades, as he wanted to be called now. I looked over at his door, and Chris must have noticed as he instantly got up to place a hand on my shoulder.
Hey, he'll clear up. This happens every now and again, you know that. He tried to calm me down, but I was one of the few, if not the only person, who knew what happened during these moments. What he did to himself. There had been days in the past where, even during summer, he was sporting these gloves that covered up his elbows. He sometimes let us try them on, showing us they weren't that warm. So for the most part, no one really worried. That was before I stayed over at his place once after school. Classes dragged on late, as did practice, so I missed my bus. He had called and made sure I could spend the night at his, but he was already off during the day itself. During that evening, I barely slept. He had put me in a different room as his was a mess, but I had a bad gut feeling. When I went to check up on him, I forgot to knock, and he had forgotten to lock the door. What I saw was something I kept between the two of us.
So you're sure you're okay? Do you want me to read this part?
Yeah, it feels wrong to
That's
do
okay.
that for you.
A knife in his hand, and his other arm outstretched. He later told me that that was one of the few times that it hadn't bled. Probably because I walked in right as he started. But ever since, I kept an insanely close eye on him.
Whenever someone tried to check his arms after one of those days, either to bully him or out of whatever motivation, I'd body block him and force away whoever was trying to find out. Never before had he shut me out before when he was like this. So the way he shut the door on me earlier this morning set off all alarm bells. But I couldn't tell anyone about it. He hadn't told them, so neither could I. Breaking his trust was something I refused to do, unless I had a gut feeling so insanely bad that I felt like we'd lose him otherwise. You don't know how he gets when he gets like this, though. I muttered out, partially hoping no one would hear or understand what I just said. Chris did hear it, though, and he gripped my shoulder tighter. I didn't know what he was thinking, which dots his brain were connecting, but he seemed concerned enough, at least about me. I know he isolates like crazy and then acts all happy. I know you're always there for him despite it, but maybe he needs to handle this on his own. He's such a strong guy, mentally. He spoke, softly, as to also ensure not a lot of people caught on. I looked away again, seeing Yebel and Daniel talking to each other like they hadn't spoken in years. Seeing those two saw each other every single day, it almost made me a little jealous. Even though I cared a great deal about both Chris and Hades, thinking of him by that name instead of Sam still felt weird. But seeing just Chris every day just didn't feel the same. It was almost comparable to only seeing your mom on the weekends whilst living with your dad. Both are different enough that you miss the other's presence, no matter how present one of them may be.
I tried shrugging that thought off though. Comparing Chris and Hades to a mom and dad brought along some really weird implications. And even though it had just been an analogy, I really did not want that in my brain. Not that there was too much going on in there anyways, besides thinking about my friends and sports. I really didn't need much more. Right now, though, it was still mostly filled with concern about my friends. Chris gave my shoulder a little shake in order to snap me out of my increasingly concerned thoughts, but with so much worked. My gaze turned back to him, and he was staring straight into my eyes, and potentially my soul. He seemed serious as he looked at me, instead of his usual, more light-hearted attitude. He'll be okay. How about this? If he's still not himself in a week, you check up on him, alright? All I could respond with was a nod, and a slightly solemn look. Now, don't you have some victory feast in mind for me? Let's see what nightmare you can cook up for me, and let's see how long it takes for me to salvage and save it. His challenging and daring smirk filled most of his face, and that was the distraction I needed. I gave him a smile and a shrug in return, which prompted him to grab me by the arm and drag me over to the cafeteria. No one said anything about dinner having to be the last meal of the day, and it seems you've at least mentally cooked something up, he yelled excitedly, which prompted everyone's attention to go back to us. They followed into the cafeteria, where I served up the most bland version of my diet that I could imagine. The following hours were spent by observing Chris carefully crafting something he deemed worthy of eating, and the evening passed by faster than we'd all suspected. An entire week would go by like this, having Yewell joining the bedding, and Chris prepare me something I could barely stomach. It was fun, and almost enough to make me fully forget about how worried I'd been. Almost. By the time the full week had passed, my stomach was all up in a twist from anxiety. I'd never been turned away like that. I had never been turned away like I had been a week ago when I tried to help, and I didn't want to push him too much, but I also couldn't shake my worry. When it was finally time to try again, it was evening. The last one outside their room, beside me, had been Chris, who gave me a pep talk, something he rarely did when it came to this. The inhale I took to try and mentally prepare myself made my entire chest puff out, and the exhale made me look akin to one of those chicken-shaped dog toys. Knocking on his door took all my courage, something that hadn't been an issue prior. There's supposed to be a bit of space there. There you go.
It took far too long for Hades to open the door, and when he did, he looked just about his usual amount of tired and grouchy. That called me already, as well as his shaking having stopped sometime during the week. He was standing slightly hunched over, and I could smell the coffee on him. I told you I'd come out again when I'm feeling better. His tone was as sharp this with His tone was as sharp with this as it had been prior, like getting a knife or something else sharp held to your throat. I was used to it, though. Yeah, but I just so happened to remember you'd do my hair for me. You promised during Rose's birthday, remember? I held enough to get him to leave his room. He always liked working with his own hair, which was why I wanted him to do mine anyways. I can't dye it, but I can bleach some of it in advance. Your room, though, not mine, he said, right before closing the door in front of my face, before reopening it a few minutes later with a pack of hair bleach tucked under his arm. He nudged me to move fast, almost as if he didn't want to be seen leaving his room. I took the hint and swiftly dragged him to mine. I opened the door and made space for him. Apart from the empty protein jars, my room wasn't all that messy. He immediately got set up, getting the bleach ready. Be glad I'm feeling okay enough for this. Now what would you want? The sass in his voice made it difficult for me to tell if he genuinely felt okay enough, but right now having him here helped. Remember when you had the yellow streaks in your hair? Yeah, I do. I hated them. Why? Well, I thought it looked cool. I wanted to match with you. At that, Hades stopped for a moment, seemingly chuckled to himself before shaking his head. He got the bleach ready to put in my hair, giving me a streak similar to his old yellow ones. You're an idiot, you know? But fine, we can match. As long as I don't have to go yellow. The words slipped out of his mouth at first, like an embarrassed mutter. The look in his eyes softened ever so slightly, now that it was just the two of us, with no real chance at intruders. A smile formed on both of our faces as he prepared both his own bangs and a streak in line for the bleach. And he got to work.
We were mostly silent during it, just enjoying each other's company. I wanted to check his arms to calm myself down, to hopefully see that my worry about that was for nothing. But he wore a shirt with long sleeves, the kind that I couldn't easily slide down. It wasn't that he'd protest. I'd done it before, but rather I figured that it hurt with how tight the sleeves seemed to fit. It was past midnight when we both washed bleach out, and by some miracle he'd gone my black hair to a yellowish off-white in one go, something he swore wasn't possible. His own hair was light brown after the bleach. In his eyes it was good enough, as red would take nicely on it. But by his body language I could tell he was getting uneasy at the time, though, presumably worried that we'd get in trouble for having him be out of his room this late. But something about him also made it look like he wanted to stay. Whilst he was tense right now, beforehand he had seemed far more relaxed here than he had in his own room, which I couldn't blame him for. Not only was it dark, it was also a prison of sorts to him, just like his own room before this was when his mind got dark like that. You can stay, you know. I don't get morning checkups, I spoke, and at that he seemed to freeze. I want to, but he paused, and it seemed like he wasn't going to continue, until I saw him swallow hard. Ezekiel, I have something serious to tell you, and I don't know if either of us are ready yet. Dude, I'd be ready to kill someone for you if you so much as pointed to a guy. I think I can handle whatever you have to throw at me. I spoke confidently, which, given what I was just about to hear, turned out to be a major mistake. Ezekiel, you're more than just a friend to me. More than family. He was right. I indeed wasn't ready for this. His face was starting to get red as he continued. The thing is, you've been there for me every step of the way. You're the person I'm probably closest to in my entire life. You're the one person I never want to lose. I think I love you. The stutter in his voice told me how difficult this was on him. I didn't want to break his heart, but I also knew he would be hurt more if I lied. It took me all of my own courage to force the words out, and I hoped that he'd take it well. Want me to finish it? Hades, you're like a brother to me. Both you and Chris are like brothers to me. I don't think I can be the person you want me to be in your life. I just can't get myself to see you that way. The tears that flowed from both me and him broke me, and I half expected him to plead, or to run away, but instead he forced himself to smile. A smile I didn't trust one bit. I get it, was all he got out before he got his hand on my door handle and left. Somehow I couldn't move despite wanting to go after him. All I could do was stare at my door, which slammed shut. It felt like I was going to lose him, and I didn't know what to do, and as the stress and anxiety lost their grip on me, I passed out, my head only just hitting the pillow. I really fucked up, didn't I? The last thing I promised myself before passing out is that I'd go to him again come morning to see if I could salvage this. But part of me felt it was already too late. And that was chapter 5. Since we're gonna, cuddle. Yeah, no worries, love. But hey, you get to claim your space again on the screen. Who the fuck redeems hat pats? Who?
Val.
Val! Reclaim your space, come on. Go on. If you're gonna head pats, you may as well fucking type a chat message. Thank you, amen. There we go.
If Val wants to give hat pats, I'll do this, I guess.
I'm glad you have it set up on this side. Anyways, oh, hold on. The fronting tag is incorrect. There we go. Is it gaming also fair? At least you have a singular chat message. As per usual, we have chatted everyone asleep again. There is 3 viewers. I know 2 of which, for sure. I think calling this the bedtime story stream works. Because somehow...
Yeah.
Reading the chapter, I get major grade rejected by a demisexual idiot that doesn't know his own feelings and later exposes himself in a second chapter. It's a bedtime story.
I mean...
Mr. I'm constantly on your mind, but I'm still just a brother to you.
I'm stupid, okay?
Mister, I can feel your scars under your shirt.
What? I could!
But no, you didn't see me that way. That's what you thought.
To be fair, how was I supposed to know?
I don't think, someone who isn't interested in the other guy very softly and gently plays his hands on the other person's back and very gently trace along it. Sensually like that.
Mm.
You get called out for this in book 5, by the way.
Fun. Wait, does that mean that the order has been confirmed?
The order has been set in stone now, yeah. But
Nice.
I'm so supportive.
Okay, Daniel.
Buddy, learn from Daniel.
Just like how both of our systems are learning from Daniel how to give hugs.
Yeah. Basically. Anyways, let me get the happy music back on. Like nothing happened just now for the past hour. God, we go through these too fast. But
Eaten by a hand? What?
Eaten by a head, apparently.
Oh!
How much you willing to bet that they're playing Repo?
They are. I saw the Steam notification from Val opening Repo.
Okay, good to know. Because these are supposed to be short streams that, are just kind of I-streamed yippee. Honestly, the Devil Plus World reading streams at this point have become the I-streamed yippee badge.
Hey, at least it's not as bad as Chapter 1.
How bad was Chapter 1 again?
Less than an hour.
Okay, technically this was less than an hour as well, because we've been up for an hour and 10.
Yeah. But that was more akin to, towards the 30-minute mark, rather than, the hour mark.
Yeah, fair.
It was, I'm pretty sure, between 30 and 45 minutes.
Ah. Right, I should have it be visible on my other screen if I go to the right one. Yeah, no, the first one is a stream of 1 hour and 9 minutes. Second chapter is 1 hour 6 minutes. Third chapter somehow is 2 hours 15 minutes, and then my chapter, which is one of the longest ones, is 1 hour and a half.
Then we misremembered, I guess.
This is like the full stream lengths, by the way.
To be fair, I wasn't there.
Yeah.
I've only been there for the most recent two.
Yep. Thanks for the hydrate. This applies to you as well, Zeus.
I just took a sip!
Take another sip. Okay, how the fuck? We are 1 hour and 10 minutes in. We're done with 3 days. How the fuck did you get first? Did people just collectively forget that that existed?
Also, the way that I had to text our mum, being like, wait, we're live, I can't reply!
Oh, what happened? Did she try to call you?
WhatsApp messages.
Oh.
Very being like, hey, what you doing tomorrow? Got a package arriving, but I won't be home during these times because you have a sister that has school.
Oh, passive aggressive. Got it.
Okay, we'll likely not be home during lunchtime.
Oh. I mean, I'm going to class and I've got a D&D campaign to run.
Yeah.
Which is why we have arts tomorrow, by the way, guys. Because art's easy. I can set that up really fast after coming back from class.
But yeah, no, apparently the package is arriving between 10 and 6, and there's an hour in that time frame that she's not home.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You know she's likely gonna end up keeping you hostage there for the entire day?
I hate it.
I'm so sorry, love.
I'm not gonna deal with that. I'll probably be passed out anyway.
Knowing you exist in main front for like an hour, and you're out for like 2 full days.
I don't mean to.
You're very efficient at time skipping.
I don't mean to, because it means I get to spend less time with you.
Listen, half of the time I'm doing other shit.
I don't care.
Like, yeah.
I'm
not gonna say what I want to say. Yeah, I know, you want to spend time with me. Anyways, Shao, we're gonna look if anyone's live to raid. I've inflated the numbers on this one long enough.
Yeah.
Astro is live, we know where we're going. Time to change the music. We know where we're headed, time to change the music. That was way too loud. There we go, that should be good. Yeah.
Also, the way that the screen has just been black on stream for me.
Huh?
Yeah, our internet had some issues.
Oh, sorry.
No, it should be fine on your end. It's my end.
Okay. Anyways, we're gonna be raiding Astro. You know what that means. That means bullying. Don't cause havoc. Although, Fox, for you, go the fuck to bed. Amen. Go the fuck to bed.
I don't think Fox is gonna listen.
Yeah, they're not.
I think the only way to get them to listen would be involving Willow again.
No, not even then. Willow just enforces it fully.
Yeah.
Anyways, love, is there anything you'd like to say to chat before I deafen up into my full-on outro?
It was fun being here again.
You sound so exhausted.
I mean, we were live on our own channel earlier as well.
Which, by the way, if you aren't following this one yet, follow them. We're trying to get them to affiliates. Thank you. Even though it's like stream hours and like average viewers that you have to make. So also watch their streams. Thank you. Amen. Yeah, was that all you wanted to say, chat?
Is this how it works? Yes, it does.
Have you shouted yourself out?
Yes.
Nice. Good job. Proud of you.
No,
I love you.
I love you too. I'll probably be back here at least during Skystroke.
Yep. That is another one of your chapters. That's chapter 16, FYI.
Yeah. So that's gonna take a while. Sorry for that.
So yeah, guys.
Maybe I can convince some of the other chapters, i.e. Blackout.
Maybe. Blackout would be interesting. That's where I have a mental breakdown.
Yeah. And I kind of help you with some cleanup.
Yeah, just some cleanup. Anyways. Yeah, Blackout. Anyways, I'm gonna send you all over to Astro in a sec, so I'm gonna deafen up in the call now. Say bye-bye to chat.
Alright. Bye, chat. See you next time, which is I don't know when.
And we're deafened. I'm sorry if I cussed my husband off just now. Anyways, guys, make sure to take care of yourself if you haven't already. But be it by eating, be it by drinking something, or taking some rest. Looking at you, Fox, with that last one. Please go take care of yourselves tonight. And go be menaces in Astro's chat like you're supposed to be. Call him Sharp Cheddar. Fox, I hereby ban you from doing bits, subs, or anything spending money-wise in Astro's chat. Got it? I hereby ban you from pulling any flavor of chaos in Astro's chat that isn't just sending messages to make him, you know, terrified. You are not allowed to send any bits. Anyways. Go rest up if you haven't already, especially for those in the same time zone. I know that it's only 9:15, but still, it's nice to rest up in advance, especially if you've got early classes tomorrow, like me. Anyways, I'm gonna be sending you all over to Astro now. I'll see you all tomorrow, I believe also at 8 for an art stream, where we're likely going to be continuing working on merch, or we're going to work on a print together. This will be done by Ryan, not me. Sorry, my guest appearance is over. Anyways, have a good one in Astro's chat. Behave. And I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.